Hello, my name's Keith and I'm known as the Florida Stone Man, and today I'm going to be teaching you all about how to ground yourself by using your third eye and your gifts of clairvoyance to really ground yourself into reality. Let me talk all about what grounding really means, because in past videos I've talked about grounding and people understand it as a concept or something that might be cool to do, but if you don't do grounding, you can't inherit abundance, love, your spiritual gifts. You can't even connect to your guides. It can mess with your connection and you moving closer to the Most High, especially if you cannot ground yourself into reality and you're trying to connect to God and ask God to help you with certain things, but you're so ungrounded, you'll have more lessons than you will do blessings before you get your blessings, because your lessons will serve in that manner. Now, when it comes to grounding, and yes, sometimes a blessing will be put on hold because you're fully ungrounded, and that's a skill you have to learn before you actually really tap into your highest version of yourself. For the most spiritually gifted people in the entire world, it doesn't even matter if those people cannot ground. If those people can't ground, those people can't achieve holding their gifts. There is a balloon, for example. Let's talk about a balloon being tied to the ground. The balloon is the crown chakra, and the root is the tied to the ground. That's your root star chakra specifically. But when you ground, you take these higher downloads from the different dimensions and you actually preserve them. You can have the most insights of visions and downloads and spiritual information and knowledge come to you, but if you're not grounded, it will always leave. I call it going through one ear through the other ear. It'll go. Just imagine something going boop. Same thing. It'll pass through your third eye. It'll pass through your senses, and you just won't keep it. It doesn't matter which sense it is. We're specifically talking about clairvoyance and grounding. This video is going to be really cool because I'm going to teach you some really cool exercises that you can keep for life, that you can replicate for life. And this actually, it might confuse some, because the elements that you use for clairvoyance and the elements that you use for grounding are kind of opposite elements. It's not contradicting each other in the sense that they actually go hand in hand, but some people will think it's a contradiction. Oh, clairvoyance, you have to unground yourself to get visions. Yeah, but if you have visions and you can't hold yourself down, you can't keep the vision. So what happens when you're an extremely grounded clairvoyant? What? An extremely grounded clairvoyant? Do you know what kind of visions you have when you're grounded, plus you're connected to higher dimensions? You'll see everything. You'll see absolutely everything, and you'll be able to keep the information. So I'm going to use this as an example. Let's just say some of you have the most vivid, amazing, awesome dreams, and you wake up and you forget them. It's like, I had some of the best dreams ever and I can't even remember them. It's because you didn't ground the dreams into reality. So if you have these people don't want to work with grounding stones when they're working with the third eye, because they like the fuzzy feelings. But if you ground yourself with crystals such as smoky quartz, black obsidian, black tourmaline, you're grounding yourself as you're holding down these visions, so you get to keep the visions, you get to remember them, you get to bring them to earth, because they're in the 5D, they're in different dimensions, but when you bring them here, you get to keep them. Woo! How powerful, how amazing. So in essence, you definitely, as you spiritually grow, you need to know what it's like to be grounded. And I'm going to talk about this right now. Is there a thing such as being too grounded? Yes and no. This is the best question, because I guarantee you can Google this question right now and you won't be able to find it. It took me many years to realize this. You cannot be too grounded, although your root chakra can be stimulated a little too much. So you can be very grounded, but if you're stimulated, if your root star chakra and the root chakra, if you're just so present to the point where you're not moving into the future, that's not even too grounded at the point. That's you being too rooted. So what happens with a tree when it has too many roots? When the root system is too much, then it overlaps, and you guys can study the root chakra online. I'm not going to teach about that here, but you'll notice certain things happen, and you'll feel a little aggressive. You'll feel kind of moody, irritated. So there's no too much grounding, but there's too much staying in one spot. It'll keep you there in time. So I don't say there's too much grounding, although you could be working on the root star chakra or the root chakra so much to the point where you're not moving forward with your other chakras. You're not letting that energy go up because you're so focused and it stays trapped, because you're trapped in that, and you'll trap certain elements of yourself into time. So the essence of that, the key to that, the main lesson is to ground yourself, and basically it's balance. It's keep all the chakras in balance. Some people will just work on one chakra and they'll be like, what's happening? It's because you just worked on one chakra. Like when you just work on that one chakra, that chakra is trying to help neighboring chakras. For example, if you work on your sacral chakra, you're working on the root and you're working on the solar plexus as well. You ever wonder why carnelian can work on the solar plexus chakra when it's not yellow? That's why. That's a little secret. Oh, how cool. You find secrets on Florida Stone Man's channel. But let's dive straight into this. Let's get straight into this right now. So I'm going to tell you guys, for my last video, when you're a clairvoyant person, depending on how clairvoyant you are, sometimes you will get ungrounded. Sometimes your visions will become so much to the point where they're not really real like that. But when you ground them into reality, then your visions, your gifts of clairvoyance are open. So what's a characteristic of a clairvoyant that's ungrounded? It's someone who sits there all day like this. And they're supposed to be doing stuff, they're supposed to be doing things, they're just stuck. Remember how I said stuck? You can be stuck on you can be in other realms. You can be too much here, or you can be too much in other realms. That's why we have balance. So if you're just like daydreaming all day, like just stuck in your thoughts, you're thinking about doing stuff, you never do it. You're thinking about talking, you never talk. You're thinking about acting, you never act. You're thinking about praying and talking to God, most importantly, you're not doing that. That's for people who are just always thinking about something but never doing it. So that can come from the sacral or the solar plexus. I mean, the solar plexus or sacral or third eye and crown. So like I said, it depends where you are. Most importantly, I'm going to give you a very, very important, let's talk about relating grounding to the Bible. Because Genesis, I'm studying the Bible very in-depth to be able to teach you guys in-depth. So we come from dirt, we come from dust, we come from ash. So we have to humble ourselves. Some people are like, oh, I'm so spiritually powerful, I don't need to ground. A little essence, little essence to keep you guys, your mental thought. I mean, how am I going to say this? I want to say it as simple as I possibly can. A little food for your thought, a little essence for your higher mind to comprehend into existence, to be able to understand your fundamental reality. No, I'm going to say it in very simple terms. A little food for thought, or the other way I just said it. And yes, I have to, I don't call it dumbing it down, I call it simplifying it, keeping it simple. So I can talk into like, what's it called, extremely sophisticated advanced language, but that's not helping anyone or everyone if no one can understand it. So, and that's when you talk to your angels, they'll talk very sophisticated. They'll talk like, you'll have to Google words constantly when you talk to angels, because they're like, it's like, what'd you just say? I'm like, what's that? But the thing is, when man was made, God made man from dirt, from dust. And so man returns to dirt. Man returns to dust. So one way or another, you're going to return to dust. So you're going to return to dirt. So you're going to be grounded whether you like it or whether you're not. You started from the ground. And now you're here, but you're going to go back to the ground eventually. That's just how God designed us. His essence can't stay with us forever. So in essence, we will return to the ground in the physical world. Now that you have the background, I put the gems into the later part of the video, but here's how you use your clairvoyance to really get you guys to understand. Because for some of the people who are extremely gifted, you might not want to ground, because it's too fun being in the higher realms. It's too fun just basically being ungrounded. For some people, it's fun being ungrounded, but when you ground, plus when your clairvoyance is open and your clairaudience, when I say clairvoyance, I mean also your other gifts too, because everything will open with clairvoyance. But let's talk about some exercises right now. Now that you have the background, now that you have the basics, how awesome, how cool. Now, here's some exercises that you can do to really ground yourself into reality using your clairvoyance. You can use other methods. I teach other methods on my YouTube channel, which you guys can check out other videos too. But this is what you can do with your clairvoyance. Cool. Start picturing yourself. Now, you can do it inside your mind or outside your mind. You can take a bowl of water, that's a black bowl or a dark bowl, and look at the water and then visualize it in the water if you want to work on your external clairvoyance. Or you can do it, close your eyes, you can look at the eyelids, which is also external and internal clairvoyance. It's like the medium between. Or you could just go into your imagination, which it doesn't matter, that's internal clairvoyance. Let's talk about this right now. So pick one. Pick outside your eye in your eyelids or in your imagination. You can't pick three, but focus on one for right now. Here comes a little meditation thing. It's not really meditation. So visualize yourself in a field of just, maybe you're in a place that looks like Mongolia, for example. There's mountains, there's earth, and the earth is it's kind of dry earth. So I'm going to use dry earth in this example. I'll use fertile earth soon because that's one of the best for grounding. But now you're in the mountains, you feel the earth. The earth feels cool. So this is a cooling grounding technique. So if you feel really hot in the day and you feel very, very upset, this will cool you down. So you're sitting down on the cool earth. It's keeping you cool as you sit down. So you're really hot and you're sitting down and it's cooling your body. You look around, you feel some breeze, but you're more so focused on the ground. The ground has a very specific feel to it. It's refreshing because you were hot. Just sitting down on the ground brings you coolness and ease. As you stand up and put your feet on the ground, you can feel yourself connected to the earth. The earth is just, it might be dry earth, but you still feel very connected. You feel a part of the earth. You look around, you feel cool because it's the mountains around you. Like I said, this is like a Mongolian climate, and you feel amazing. You feel cool, you feel calm, you feel relaxed. Any kind of heat you've had during the day, it just took you down to another level and it just calmed you down. So just the biggest thing in this exercise is to focus on your feet. Focus on your root star chakra. Just even right now, as you're in your mind's eye or however you're practicing the clairvoyance, focus on your feet. Your feet should get heavy. And just practice this affirmation too. I am so connected to the earth, I can feel it wherever I am. And I'm so a part of the earth. As above, so below. I am a part of this earth. I am earth. Ooh. I am the earth. I am not earthly, but I am the earth. I'm a part of the earth. I exist with the earth. And really focus on your energy in your feet. Just focus on the energies of grounding. Now that's just one scenario, one example. So for some of you, you might just got up and like, ooh, I actually, like, cause some of you will actually feel cool after this. Because there's different kind of groundings with your clairvoyance. So you'll feel calmed down, you'll feel cool. You might have felt the breeze from the mountains. You might have known that it was cold, but it wasn't freezing. But you were nice and chilled out and calm. Let's practice this in a different way, because there's different kinds of ways you can ground. There's different elements. I just use some of the ice elements, some of the dry earth, some of the cool air elements of grounding. Now let's talk about something with a little bit of water in life. So you're in the Amazon. Oh, you hear the birds chirping. You feel this jungle. You're just taken into the jungle. It's like you don't know how you got there, but you're happy you're there. And it's not muggy, it's not hot. It's actually, the ground is wet. The ground is cool. It's a very good smell. You smell some kind of like coconut in the distance. You smell it just smells good. It feels like you're in a very refreshing place. Maybe you just needed something to pick you up. And this energy of the Amazon, it's not too hot. It's not too, you're just standing there in the Amazon and there's these trees around. The energy of life is imbued in the environment. There's just so much life. There's animals. You might not see the animals, but you can feel them around you through your feet. Focus on your feet. Your feet are in the mud of the Amazon versus on the dry earth that I taught about before in the last exercise. The earth was kind of dry. You can feel it, but it was actually a comfortable dry. So your feet are in like a very wet spot, but it's not very wet in the sense that it's uncomfortable. It's like almost therapeutic on your feet. It's like one of those mud baths on your feet. So you're standing there. And the entire Amazon, every tree in the Amazon is connected to you. And you're feeling this cooling energy, but it's also kind of, the mud on your feet is kind of cooling, but it's kind of warm around you. So it's comfortable. It's actually comfortable. And you can just feel the nature around you. You're now a part of it. You're part of the Amazon. You're just a part of that Amazon. So at this point, you'll feel like very energized and revitalized, and you'll feel good. You'll feel your energy being there. I'm like, wow, I feel good. I have life. I have the energies of life. Because that's the element of the forest. Not the forest, the Amazon, which is the rainforest. So you're feeling these energies of life. You're feeling this vitality. You're feeling the elements of water. So you feel your emotions being calmed down and fluid. And maybe you needed some kind of life, like some kind of heat for your upper chakras. And now that's there. Let's talk about another example, because I just took you to the Amazon and I just took you to a very Mongolian climate. Let's talk about, let's go to the fields. You're immediately taken into a farmland. It's a country. It might not be on this planet, and you better believe you might want practice in this exercise. You might actually go to another planet and you have some very vivid dreams in your sleep after doing this exercise. But this is the third exercise I will give you. Now you're in a farmland. The entire country is about farming. The earth is so fertile. It's neither hot and it's neither cool. It's nice. The temperature is nice. And you're walking out into the fields. All the people of the country are farming, but you don't see any people in the distance. You're walking through these very fertile fields. You might have seen something like this when you're driving past in the country, or you're driving on the interstate and you look over and you see that, or you just might live around it. And you take your shoes off, or your shoes might already be off, and you start walking through where you see all these tomatoes growing, all these lettuce and broccoli and just cauliflower and all these different beautiful vegetables. And they're actually striving. Look at the vegetables in your third eye right now. Look at them in your third eye. Look at them in your imagination. These vegetables are like, it looks like they're on steroids. They're growing huge, and it's like, why are these growing so big? What's different about the farm that I'm on right now? So you go to test it. You take off your shoes, put your feet next to the soil. Put your roots. Your root star chakra, your feet, next to it. As it branches out, you can kind of feel it. You can feel the roots of the tomato almost. It feels like you're connected to them in an interlocking system. So now you understand. Your feet are in the ground next to the tomato and you feel fertile. And careful with this exercise. This might get some of you pregnant, but I'm not kidding. So if you want to skip this exercise. But yeah, this is the energies of carnelian here as well. But when you're feeling fertile, but fertile does not mean pregnant. It means new abundance, new fertility, new opportunities. So you're seeing all these seeds. You can feel them growing in the ground. You can feel them moving around at your feet. So the biggest theme of this exercise is you're feeling your feet. You're feeling grounded. You're extremely aware of your feet. You'll feel like just how fresh, and you can smell the dirt, the fertile soil, and you feel grounded. So that's just a simpler exercise you can practice. Just walk through the field or dig your feet into the ground. It'll feel cool because now it's a part of the earth. Now you're a part of the earth too. Now your feet understand why it's so beautiful and how these plants grow so big. It's because you understand that the soil, the fertile dirt that they're growing in, it's sprouting them to be huge, gigantic, enormous plants because the soil is so fertile. Now, my last example, this is the last example of this video. You know a sequoia tree, right? Let's use a sequoia, or you can just use any kind of tree example. So let's just picture in your mind's eye. You'll be taken to a place immediately. A gigantic, enormous tree. And you can see all the roots leaving the ground. Just wherever it is. It could be at the park, or you're just connecting to that tree. Even before the tree is in your mind's eye. You can see it through your clairvoyance. Just imagine it. And now you're connected to it. You feel the tree calling out to you. You feel the tree being so intertwined with your energy. Yeah, roll the window up. You feel the tree in front of you being intertwined with your energy. You feel it becoming a part of you. This tree is powerful. There's something about this tree. This tree is life. You can feel the root system of this tree. You can feel just the roots kind of going over your feet, going over the ground. The tree is like, you feel these roots becoming a part of your feet. And this gets interesting. You're feeling these roots move over your feet. It feels like the roots are moving. It feels like now something trippy is happening. It's like you're going to another dimension, another reality. Now this is getting kind of very interesting. It's like you've melded with the earth. Like somehow you're a part of the tree now. Now the tree is like, you're feeling these roots now move up from your feet to your legs, to your stomach, to your heart, to your third eye. And you feel these roots cover you. And it's not like they're wrapping around you. They're making sure you're safe. They're making sure you feel protected. They're defending you. It's like they're downloading things in you. Now you're getting downloads from this tree that has been around for maybe thousands of years. You don't know what kind of tree it is. You don't know what realm it's been on. Maybe hundreds of years since we're on Earth. But this tree is just giving you all these downloads in life. And open your eyes, or even come back to this reality. You'll feel the roots. It's because that tree was actually there. It's just in a different dimension, in a different reality. So now I taught you a few grounding techniques. I'll do more videos like this, but these are some cool grounding techniques you can use with your third eye. And every time you visit these techniques or methods, they'll get stronger. They actually might change. You might see birds. Things might get a little different than how I described them, but I took you to a place that actually exists in different dimensions and realities through your third eye to ground you into existence. But you actually use your third eye in this video to ground yourself. If you have any questions, ask them in the comment section. Check out FloridaStoneman.com. Some of the best grounding crystals you can ever get. One of them is black tourmaline, smoky quartz, petrified wood if you like the tree exercise. Check out my website. Some of the most grounding crystals will increase these exercises times 100,000. If you have any questions, ask them in the comment section. Until then, I'll see you guys next time. Ciao.